Hello, kindergarten. Today we're going to talk about overlapping flowers. We're going to draw all sorts of different flowers and even trace our hand so it looks like we're holding a bouquet of flowers. Bouquet is a big word for a bunch of flowers. We're also going to read a little bit about Vincent van Gogh. This is a very famous painting by Vincent van Gogh called Starry Night. It is one of the most popular paintings where when you look at it, you see different types of colors swirling in the sky, and he's the type of painter that is called an impressionistic painter. Impressionistic painters use choppy colors to create a big image. So it's almost like a puzzle where you don't see them all solid colors, you see all sorts of different colors kind of pressed into the paper in different areas to create the image. So let's take a look at Vincent van Gogh's works. Every single page is one of his famous paintings. So when we start, here's a picture of him. This is a self-portrait. So he had red hair and he lived in the Netherlands. Very famous artist. So every single page you're going to see is one of his very famous paintings as well as a description. We're focusing on colors, so you're going to see them describing different colors and different objects. A yellow sky with yellow sun. A jug in squares of blue and white. This is where he creates a still life of objects. A reddish cap and orange bricks. "12 flowers that are light on light." So this is important because we're making flowers today. So look at how he overlaps his flowers. And overlapping means that some flowers are behind other flowers. Some flowers are bigger because they're closer to us and smaller because they're in the back. Trees gray-green with a pink sky. Cypresses of bottle green hue. That just means a type of tree. Some very yellow buttercups. Here's some more flowers right in the front. And all the ground is yellow too. So he painted all of these pictures. You can still see all those little colors together. Now they make a big image. Roses in a green vase. Some more flowers. A window with a green shutter. A lady's clothes in black, black, black. Two chairs, the yellow of fresh butter. That's how he painted his room in this picture. Leaves of silver turning to green. Stars sparkling, greenish, yellow, white. A bunch of violet irises. Violet is a different word that we use for purple. See those flowers? That's what we're going to create. You can also add in leaves like how he has in the background of his irises. And in my head, a starry night. And this is a really famous painting with all those swirls we saw on the front cover of the book. All right, so now that we saw a couple very famous flower paintings by Vincent van Gogh, let's talk about the supplies you need today. For our bouquet of flowers, we want to draw on a piece of paper. I'm going to use crayons to color. But I'm going to color the next time I have art, but I'm going to keep them close by. And I'm going to draw in a marker, but you guys can draw in a pencil. When you draw, you want to make sure you have an eraser and a sharp point of your pencil so that you can erase easily. Our first step for today is to trace our hand. And the reason we're doing that is because when we overlap, we want the thing that's the closest to us to be the biggest and what we draw first. So take my hand, and because I need to write with this hand, I'm going to use my other hand. I'm going to move this guy off to the side for a moment, and I actually turn my paper to the side, and I place my hand towards the lower part of my page so that all my flowers can peek out of the top. I lay my hand flat so that when I take my pencil, I just follow and trace my hand. I'm just hugging my pencil close to my fingers. We've traced before, way back in the beginning of the year, so we're just doing it again. And don't worry, if you make a mistake, you can always erase it. Once I've traced my hand completely, I made sure I started at the tip of my paper and I ended at that tip of the paper. I can lift my hand up and I have an outlined hand. Mine is probably going to be way bigger than yours. You might have a smaller hand, and that is perfect. Let's take a look at the teacher example. Our next step are these really cool flowers. You might know what a tulip looks like. Those tulips, they kind of have a round bottom and a spiky top. Let's practice drawing a tulip. We first want to draw the tops of the flowers, and then we'll draw those stems or the lines coming from our flowers hiding behind our hand, behind our fingers. So up here, when I draw a tulip kindergarten, I first draw kind of a leaf shape. I make it kind of to the side, a teardrop or a raindrop shape. I then go behind it and I kind of make a spike. So I have that tulip shape. And I make little mountain triangles behind it. So it looks like those petals are peeking out. That's one way you can draw a tulip. Another way you can draw a tulip is if you make a U or a upside down rainbow line and you make zigzags going across. You guys probably know how to make that classic flower shape with a big circle and little tiny half circles, little rainbow lines wrapping around that circle to create that flower. And then it's your choice on how you want to fill in the center of it. I have some zigzags, some stripes, and polka dots on that one. For this one, I might make some polka dots. I want you guys to fill up the top of your paper, everything above your traced hand, with flowers. So let's take a moment and make a lot of either tulips, these flowers. If you like these spirals, you can make some spirals. That's kind of an abstract flower. Maybe it looks like a rose. You can make bigger ones, bigger leaves. Now, if you go really big, you might go behind one of our flowers. Remember, we're overlapping? Let's try to overlap how we saw in Vincent van Gogh's pictures. And if you have a really big flower, it might go behind the other ones. All right, so I tried to put as many flowers up here as I could. I made tiny ones and big ones, and I made sure the insides of my flowers had something in it, like a swirl or a crisscross line or polka dots. Our next step is to draw the stem. That stem is a long line that goes behind our hand. So it looks like we're holding those flowers in a big bunch or a bouquet. We don't want them to go on top and slice through our hand because it'll look like we're dropping the flowers and we're not holding them. So what I do is I connect from each flower a line that goes behind my hand and it comes out the bottom. If it peeks through those little finger holes, you can also line it up from there. I'm going to take more of my lines and follow them down. Some more lines, follow them down. And I keep on going. Once all those lines connect to the bottom, you could add some leaves. And those leaves are same way that we started that tulip, that teardrop or raindrop shape, peeking out. from the stems. We did a lot of drawing today, kindergarten, so we're going to stop here. Next time I see you, we're going to complete this by coloring it in with crayons. We're going to also talk about blending with different colors next time I see you, and still talk about overlapping. Happy creating, and I can't wait to see your finished drawn flowers, and we'll go ahead, we'll color with each other the next time I see you. Happy creating.